Can we talk about that ending? I mean, how do you end it there?
Yeah.
Well, how do you not end it there, right? Because we have one more episode.
I guess, but
Yeah.
like, that's going to torture everyone because, you know, we all need to know exactly what
Isn't it
happens and
kinda
when we
great?
pick up. And
I love that they always run the finales as two episodes. The last two episodes are always one sort of big story. But yeah, it's sort of the clock is ticking, but also it's just sort of like she's not listening to anyone. She's got herself in a position where she's serious. She doesn't want to live like this anymore. So she's pissed. So she's going down. She's being reckless, but when isn't she? But this time, she really isn't listening to anyone.
right.
Yeah. Fred and I had talked about, and Craig and the writers have always, said that there was always a sort of undertone that Burkoff has always been in love with her since they were, young, not recruits together, but he was still he was a techie, but they recruited him very young. So when she was a recruiter, they weren't too far off in age, so they were good buddies and whatever. But there was always this undertone of like the nerd and her, and they were close, and he never ever told her how he felt. But I mean that we're never ever going to get into that because it's cheesy and it's dumb. It's just one of those things that happened in high school that you forget about, but it happened. So Burkoff finally gets to. He doesn't think he's going to see her again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally like I could never see you again. So you know what? I know your boyfriend's right there, but I don't care. Like I love you, and you brought us all together, and good luck, and I hope you come back. Sort of thing. When I read it, we laughed so hard, and then Aaron texted me, and he said, "Hey, Burkoff gets some action." And I wrote him back. I was like, "I know, it's kind of cool." It's also kind of like like Shane being Shane. He's like, sort of like just watches him and like doesn't say anything. It's kind of funny. It was really perfect.
Fans are gonna love that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna love it too.
There was this great moment, I think it was 2 episodes ago, where, they named it Home Quarters, and obviously Nikita, it's a big deal for her to get out and to bring all these people with her.
Yeah.
What is the mindset like in the finale, at the end of the finale? Is that still feasible?
When you say all those people out, do you mean...
I mean, to bring
Division,
my...
or do you mean Burkoff and...
No, I
Alex?
mean just her group,
Her group, okay.
Yeah, Burkoff, Alex, Sean, whoever she
Yeah.
considers, her family.
Ew, Sean's in her group. Just kidding.
Maybe not. Maybe that's something we should talk about.
I'm kidding. I have an ongoing joke with Dylan that he'll get killed or something. He gets so offended. I think it's sort of... I had this moment like 3 or 4 episodes ago where I think it aired, where Michael and Nikita are looking at them and everybody's on the couch, and I was like, what show is this? It was Central Perk? Because everybody's sort of sitting there and happy, and it was this very odd moment. I was like, what is going on? So I said to Craig, I said, we can't have happy couch moments going on in the show forever. And he was like, no, they're not gonna have that forever. That's just like a temporary thing. So it's sort of like, it is a reality that Nikita can bring all these people together, keep them together for as long as she can, but it's going to take a 3rd season to see where that goes. And that would be the fun main reason for a 3rd season, to be able to go into the sort of intricacies of what will happen with that group, right? Because look, I mean, you see Burkoff, who's essential, but Michael and Nikita have their own issues, from time to time, and then Alex and Sean have this little love thing going on now. So who knows? They could go on together, but we don't really know. And so everybody at some point will have their own agenda, and that will, sort of web out into what it webs out to be. But the overarching theme of season 2 being home. So I think that in the end of season 2, we understand what home is to her and what it isn't, and how she's kind of come full circle in that way, which is kind of beautiful, actually. As a person, I find that emotion